On Sunday, I finished my first ever triathlon, an Ironman 70.3. What's up everyone, it's Dee, and welcome to my channel where I try new things that are way outside of my comfort zone to try and figure out what I'm passionate about and what I want to do with my life. Today is the finale of my Ironman training series. Stick around to the end to see what score I'm giving Ironmans. If you followed me through phases 1 through 6 of this little life side quest, you'll know that this final phase has been a long time coming. But today I'm excited to share phase 7 of my Ironman journey, race day. As any good triathlete knows, it's important to fuel your body 36 to 48 hours before the race. I am not a good triathlete, so here is my mini vlog of all the random things I ate in the day leading up to the big race. This includes things like noodles, burgers, more bread, and more noodles. Oh, and can't forget electrolytes. In between all the eating, I also had to go to the venue to pick up all my stuff and register. Basically had to walk in, find my bib number, and show them my ID so that I can go pick up all of my merch and gear for the race. After that, I put my number on my bike. Note to self, that is not the right place to put it, and set it up in transition along with all the other bikes. Then my family and I did a little recon of the bike route. And we all agreed I was gonna die. By the way, if you haven't seen my last video, the TLDR is that I haven't been able to train consistently for the past 6 months. So please be kind. After getting home, I organized all of my stuff for the next day, like nutrition and helmets and gear. Then my family and I played some cards to de-stress. Then I tried to get to bed relatively early and have my alarm set for 4:30 a.m. the next morning. But honestly, I couldn't fall asleep till midnight. Breakfast of champions, or maybe just breakfast of people who are aiming not to die today. It was a quiet drive up to Huntsville from my Airbnb as my anxiety, but also my excitement, slowly creeped higher and higher. We made sure to leave early enough because the parking spot is still a bit of a walk away from the race start. I'm so nervous. I make it to transition and start setting up the rest of my stuff and double check that my bike is still functional. There are lots of people here. The excitement is definitely high. And honestly, I was so confident I was going to forget something, but I didn't, so big win. Then I slowly made my way to the swim start. It was about a 10-minute walk from the transition zone. I kept my sweats on and brought my morning clothes bag and my wetsuit, which was actually too small because I ordered it online really late, so I didn't have time to try it on or practice using it before the race. But that's okay, we made it work even though my arms had limited range of motion. I then squeezed my way into the 30 to 40 minute estimated swim start time range, and off we go.
Ironman is at the front, guys. Don't worry that we don't have sound.
So it begins. The water was so dark, I thought a shark was going to come up and eat me. Yes, it's an irrational childhood fear that has carried on through. But Muskoka actually introduced a rolling swim start this year, which made the swim not so hectic and jam-packed that I hear other triathletes have experienced. I've never practiced swimming outdoors though in a straight line, so I'm fully convinced I actually swam an extra 100 to 200 meters at least, because I was just going left and right. But overall, the swim was very chill and honestly pretty fun. I was a competitive swimmer growing up, so just wanted to take this part really slow and make sure my heart rate was under 120 the whole time, and also tried to not kick so much so that I could save my leg energy for the rest of the race, which I was very, very, very nervous for. Now you see me struggling to take off my wetsuit. And actually, I lost my tracker, which was on my ankle when I was taking off my wetsuit, and I didn't notice until I almost got to the bike. So I had to rerun this transition zone, which is about, 500, 600 meters, just to try to find my tracker, which was super stressful. Shout out to my parents for doing such a good job of finding and filming me in the swim, but they didn't get any of my bike, which is of course okay. I'm just glad that they came to support, and that's all that matters. But that means you only get photos, sorry. Hopped on my bike, no real footage here, but I got a mini calf cramp like 2 kilometers into the bike. So that was a pain for the remaining 6 hours I was out on the course. But honestly, the bike was really fun the first 45K. There were a lot of hills as expected, but to be honest, it made it less boring. However, I have never really biked hills before, so I was braking on all the downhills because I was scared that I was going too fast. But then I got absolutely stomped on going back uphill because I carried no momentum. I was getting passed left, right, and center. But honestly, so inspiring to see how impressive everyone was and how fast they were going as I was slowly pedaling up and simply trying my best to not fall. I was pretty on top of my game for the nutrition side though, which I'm pretty proud of. I was having my electrolyte water and gel every 25 minutes or so that I could hit that 60 to 80 grams of carbs per hour. But the turning point was after that 50 kilometer mark. In my training, I only got the chance to bike past the 50 kilometer mark maybe twice, and the furthest I've ever gone was 75 kilometers one time. And if I remember correctly, that was in April, and it is now July. That became so apparent in the race when my legs started feeling exhausted just after the turnaround mark. It became even more apparent when I hit the 75 kilometer mark, and suddenly each additional kilometer I had to bike felt like I was biking 10 kilometers. But we pushed through and made it back to transition just in time to watch the first place woman cross the finish line. Now onto the run for me. First kilometer I was hurting. My legs felt like jello, and tell me why the course was fully uphill the first K. I did get some energy back the next 3K though and did a nice little jog. All I kept thinking in my head was, I can do hard things, and I only have 3 times 5Ks left plus 1K, which is basically nothing. I won't lie though, the rest of the 15K, my only goal was to finish, no matter how slowly. But because that was very attainable at that point, I no longer felt the desire to really push myself hard. And then I just got bored of all of the running. Plus, there were so many hills. I walked a lot of the latter 15K of that race, basically every uphill. But I always made sure I was running when I spotted a photographer or camera, because I wanted to look cool. My parents afterwards were like, "Oh my god, your dot on the map was barely moving, we thought you died." Oops. Anyway, I got a boost by the crowd in the last kilometer or so and did my happy little jog all the way to the finish. I didn't get any footage here, but I gotta say it felt pretty cool to hear the announcer go, "You are an Ironman." Overall, phase 7 took me about 4 days. A day for driving up to the event, a day for settling in, a day for setting up, and then the day of the race. It cost me $1,600, which includes the cost of the Airbnb for me and my family, the cost to drive up, the cost to tune up my bike, and I also bought a little Ironman shirt. And I'd rate it a 4.1 out of 5 for difficulty. The race was very tiring. I was definitely sore for a few days afterwards and hobbling around, but honestly it was kind of fun, and maybe I'll do another one someday as a whole redemption from this one, because I think I can do better. Now, to wrap up the series and answer the burning life question, am I passionate about Ironman triathlons? I'll be ranking all of the activities I do on a passion scale from 1 to 10, based on an average rating of how good I was at it and how much I liked it. So for this Ironman, I give myself a 3.7 out of 10 for how good I was at it, and a 7.3 out of 10 for how much I enjoyed the training and the race itself. Which means overall, Ironman triathlons get a score of 5.5 out of 10 on my passion scale. not a terrible start to this journey of trying random new things outside of my comfort zone and trying to find what I'm passionate about. Also, thinking of adding a bonus video to the series that outlines the overall cost, time, and difficulty breakdowns of an Ironman triathlon in case you want to attempt an Ironman 70.3 someday too. Hit the like button and comment below if that's something that you could be interested in. Okay, bye. See you next time.